Welcome everybody to today's community meeting. It's September 5th, Tuesday. As always, if you'd like to, please sign in and add any agenda items to the meeting. We'll start with a project round robin, just go through each of the projects, see if there's any status updates. We have a section on some outreach and events. I am not aware of any new ones that we haven't talked about. But if there's anything you'd like to mention or any chats you'd like or talks you'd like to shout out, feel free to add those there. And as I discussed 2 weeks ago, we've merged the office hours meeting into this meeting. So that'll be a part of the any other business section. So if there's anything that you'd like to discuss regarding questions for Sigstore, use cases for Sigstore, integrations that you'd like to chat about, feel free to add those to this section. And at the end, if there's anybody new in the community who would like to say hello, we have some time for introductions. So jumping right in, for Recore, Fulcio, and Cosign, we've had 2 releases last week, one for Cosign, one for Recore. I believe Cosign was mostly focused on some bug fixes and a few small feature updates. And for Recore, we've listed some of the things here, but some of the largest items that were updated, we merged in support for publishing entries to a PubSub queue. There is now a new API for getting verifiers from entries. So this is useful for monitors that want to know if a key or certificate was used. We had some bug fixes, and then we also bumped Recore to 1.21, so you can take advantage of any of the new APIs. Were there any other updates from Recore, Fulcio, or Cosign?
I don't think so, but we'll probably plan to roll out that version of Recore this week in staging, and assuming it's stable, we'll roll it into prod probably by the end of the week. So, but I don't think we have. Well, certainly thanks to James and for his contribution on the PubSub thing. We are looking at what that would entail from the public infrastructure if that is an option. But I think there's some more design and cost analysis that needs to get done on that front. But it's there in the code for folks that want to take advantage of it for private deployments today.
Very much looking forward to giving that a try. And if you find any issues, feel free to file bugs. I think there is also an opportunity to probably update some documentation around this too. For Fulcio, we haven't done a release in a little bit, so I might cut a release soon. But I don't believe there are any significant features that would be going out with this release. For clients, currently I don't see any updates. I'll wait a second to see if there were any though. I know from the Rust side of things, there's still some discussion on what needs to be a part of a 1.0 release. That's still ongoing, and I think that work is slightly paused, but I think it will pick up soon. So once again, if you'd like to chime in and you've worked on a client, there is an issue that I can link to that includes some details on what should be included as part of 1.0. Cool. Well, let's move on then to infrastructure. Looks like we have a few things. I don't believe there were any updates for the public good infrastructure to call out besides Recore being rolled out. Marina, I think I saw you mention Tough on CI.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring anyone's attention to this who's not in that particular thread. There's a proposal to use Tough on CI, which is a new tool in the kind of broader Tough ecosystem for root signing, which I think it's very early stages. I think there's a meeting tomorrow to discuss this further if folks are interested. It's on I think the key holders channel in Slack, or you can contact me or something else to come to that or provide input on that.
very, very much looking forward to this. For folks who aren't aware, there is a recently added to the update framework organization, something called Tough on CI, which is a way of simplifying the process around doing updates to tough metadata. Right now, a lot of what we have in the root signing repo is very homegrown, and this is a nice way to standardize this process. So we'll start with the staging environment. Ideally, give that a try, and then if all goes well and we get good feedback, then we will try it out in production too. So we'll take some notes for tomorrow's update, see how that goes. The only other thing I wanted to mention, we do not currently have a scheduled event, but the Tough Root will expire within a month, so we're going to have a signing event. So for any key holders on the call, FYI, I'll get that scheduled in the next week or so. So that'll be before we have Tough on CI ported over to prod. So it'll probably be the last time, hopefully, that we do a update this way. All right, moving on to docs. Lisa or Patrick, did you have any updates?
Sorry, Google Meet accessibility fail. Yeah, the quick update on docs. We have been, fixing some bugs and stuff from the platform switchover. Things have been fairly smooth. We've been sort of been discussing in issues what some of the next directions for improving docs will be. So some of the ideas floated are new guides and new an accessibility audit in the coming months. So we're going to figure that out. If people have opinions on that, then you can check the issues for some of that recent discussion. So thanks.
That sounds good. I left a link to some of the new content that had been proposed. So feel free to take a look. If there's anything else that you'd like, please file issues in the docs repo. Were there any other updates for any other projects? All righty, then moving right along. Outreach and events. I only wrote down that Open Source Summit in the EU and OpenSSF Day is in 2 weeks. I believe we have some talks, not directly from the Sigstore community, but from members of the community. If there's any talks you'd like to shout out, feel free to mention them now or add them to the section. What I didn't add here is Packaging Con, I believe, is also in the process of reviewing submissions currently. So if you haven't seen this conference, this is going to be in Germany, I believe, yes. And will be an opportunity for those from the package repository ecosystems to talk a bit more about features, standardization, that kind of stuff. Were there any other outreach or events anyone wanted to call out? All righty, then moving along to any other business. I see feedback requested for the community roadmap.
Yes, I can take this one. So for those who don't know, the Sigstore, if you've ever looked at the community repo, we have a roadmap.md file, which was created pretty early on, and I think we've been moving so fast that often it's writing down a roadmap is one thing that's super useful, but it also gets kind of pushed to the back burner because it's less fun than actually delivering code and delivering function. But the TSC in several conversations had kind of realized that we had hit a point where we wanted to actually write down how we got here, where we want to go, and call out some top level items. And so it's not meant to be a prescriptive these are only the things that Sigstore can be or should be in the future, but it's meant to be more directional in terms of like collecting the thoughts of the current maintainers, the current contributor base, some of the feedback that we've gotten from users, and just characterize it in a little bit more of a succinct form, although it is a pretty long markdown file. Being brief is not one of my strongest fortes, so you're going to get more of a brain dump than anything else. But we did take a pass through a variety of different areas, both on a per project and a thematic basis. Again, not meant to be a rigid document, more of a living, breathing kind of statement of where are we headed. And if you look for something, for example, and you don't see it on the doc, please add a comment on the PR. It may have been a unintentional omission, or it may have been a deliberate omission, but I'm making sure that we can clarify those questions wherever folks have them as something we'd like to do. In the interest of it being a living document, we'd like to merge it within, say, 2 weeks from now. But not rushing for any particular deadline, but just trying to move it in from a draft point of view into more of that living document. So then PRs and other questions or comments can certainly be brought at any point in time. So really, the reason for putting on the agenda today is just a call for eyes on it. If you have questions or concerns, feel free to ping me on Slack, add a comment or question on the PR, and look forward to everybody's feedback off of the roadmap.
Thanks for that update, Bob. Please do take a look at this. We've already gotten some comments on it for some questions on potentially missing things. So feel free to take a look at this. Perfect. Alrighty. Were there any other items anybody wanted to chat about? Alrighty. Well, then we are on to the introductions part of this meeting. If there's anybody new to the community who would like to say hello, no pressure, but now's your chance.
Hey, I'm Matt Lyon. I am a Dell Technologies employee, so just kind of parachuting in here. Thanks, Bob, for the mention about the roadmap. That was actually top of mind for me initially as I kind of get up to speed here on sort of the flow of the community. Kind of one question, if I may, is this forum largely centered on contributors, or is it okay if you're more of a lurker that just wants to understand sort of strategically, holistically, the direction of the Sigstore project?
Both are an option. So contributors here and also users.
Okay.
If there's anything that you'd like to ask, this is the section right before is a good time to do so. But yeah, feel free to lurk. And if you have any questions ever, just shout them out.
Okay, thanks very much.
Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Sarah Evans. I have some audio issues. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So I am a co-conspirator with Matt from Dell Technologies. I've been attending a lot of the different meetings and organizations within OpenSSF. And so my official role is as an observer to the governing board. But as a technical security person, I found myself getting involved all over different parts of OpenSSF. And Sigstore is one that we're looking to understand a little bit more deeply. And so my colleague Matt is who I've been working with. So I just appreciate this forum and I'm looking forward to learning more about Sigstore and working together.
Welcome, Sarah. All righty. Well, that'll do it for today's meeting then. Hope everybody has a great week.
Thank you.